The following podcast is brought to you by Iconic Nation Media.
Hello, and welcome back to In Studio with Kimberly Lovey. I'm your host, Kimberly. Nice to see you. Hey, there's a lot of you that are new around here, and I just want to say welcome and thank you for listening. You guys, where do we even begin to catch up? Where do we even start? There's so much going on, and we're gonna go through it together. Okay, first of all, what are we going to talk about? Okay, I'm going to start adding a segment that is what is my favorite podcast of the week. And this might be a podcast that I listen to. It could be across any different niche. And I want to share why I love the podcast, why you should listen to it. Don't miss, maybe I can give you a little shortcut because I'm podcast obsessed, as we all know. And it might be just a random podcast, or it might be a podcast I produce, like a specific episode. Okay, I'm going to give you one that is comedy if you don't already listen. And then I'm going to give you one that you can listen to that is one that I produced. Actually, I might even have to give you a couple that I produced because there's a couple really good ones. All right. First and foremost, if you do not listen to Heather McMahon, she's a comedian. She's hilarious. I love her. So she's from Georgia, Atlanta. And she's sort of like, she like refers to herself as, so she's a comedian. She's, where do I even begin with her? She's kind of interesting because on one hand, she's a little bit bougie. Like you can tell she was raised with money. She talks about the fact that she golfs and lives in a country club community. She travels all over the place. She's married, but she's kind of like slightly bougie, but it's like it's like not obnoxious. You know what I'm saying? She's not doing the I'm better than you thing, which is just completely off putting to pretty much all of us. And so she is great because she's warm and endearing and lighthearted and super self deprecating, but she's like soft and tender, Like she has this like Southern mom energy about her, but like is also very masculine. Like she does this thing with her voice where she'll like go into like her deep voice and it sounds like a man. So she's like got broad shoulders, she's heavier set, and I don't know, there's just something about her I'm obsessed with. Totally, totally obsessed with her. I love her. I love a woman that knows who she is. She's strong yet sensitive. She's entertaining. She's charming. She's business savvy and she's fucking fun. You know? Like, what more do you want in life out of a woman? She's great. And she doesn't have kids. She's gone through all kinds of fertility issues and things of that nature, but she goes on tour. She does red carpets now, like as a host and all of that. And she just tells stories in such a way that is just so freaking hilarious? She'll be like, I don't know how to. She talks about almost nothing. A lot of people, they talk about almost nothing, but it's just like the way that they tell the story is like so good that you're just like, you want to hear what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, yes, it's called Absolutely Not with Heather McMahon. And if you want a good laugh, go ahead. She does have one part that I don't like, which is a segment where you call in and leave a voicemail. There's something about that. I don't know why I don't like that, but I just don't like it. And I think it's just because I enjoy her. But somebody will call in and it does end up being good because they'll call in and they'll ask some stupid question about a guy or give a scenario. And she like will talk about it for 20 minutes. And it's like her insights are just like her hot takes are just funny. She's great. Anyway, so if you are looking for a laugh, you can listen to her podcast. Now, let's see. One of the shows that I'm producing is great for you moms out there because it's called Unpacking with Jennifer Sattel. And we just say Unpacking with Jennifer. And it's so interesting to me because when I listen, so she's a home organizer. She has one child, Charlotte is her name, David is her husband, and she walks you through motherhood, unpacking motherhood, what's going on in her life, and then she will help you with home organization as well. So like she talked about unpacking your kitchen, for example, right? And gives you all these tips. And then her YouTube, we like put up photos of her like best organizing tips. And like, when somebody's describing it, you don't know what they're talking about. And then you see the picture of the bamboo turnstile type organizational hack. It's just nice to have that visual. So if you do want to kind of get inspired about home organizing, you can watch her. And what's so great about her is like, again, she's not somebody trying to be the most. I feel like when I think home organizing, it's like everything's all about being Instagram and Pinterest perfect. And while she creates that as a result with her clients, because she's done this for 9 years and she's amazing, she does this thing where she's just so gentle natured and tender-hearted about the way she communicates just with her daughter. Or she walked into a girl's house that was like a total hoarder and she was in her 30s, the girl, not like somebody that was 90 and helpless. And just the way she talks, there's just something. She's so freaking funny too. She's so real and she's so funny. She'll be like talking about a playroom, and one of the episodes she was talking about was organizing your playroom, which was of course my request because I literally like cannot stand all the toys everywhere. And just the way she talks about the toys being like, perfect, like so tender-hearted, like your kid's favorite toys, and like so loving and understanding. And then she'll turn around and be like, and I want to pull out every single one of my lashes one by one. And like it's just she's again very tender and very hilarious and also very knowledgeable. So I've really enjoyed launching her show and getting to know her. And so those are probably my top two. I will say we've had some really great guests on Heal to Feel. If you guys don't know about that show, I'm executive producing it. The show's on my network, Iconic Nation Media, and we do it in home. So at one of my clients' in-home studios that we helped create for her. And anyway, it's with MJ and Liat. So MJ's, remember, she's from Shaws of Sunset. She's a Bravo celebrity. And Liat is one of my dear friends, and it's all about spirituality and wellness. And we've had some insane episodes, like absolutely insane. In fact, I didn't even tell you guys this, what happened, like in detail. So, okay, Liat is obsessed with what happens in the afterlife and spirituality. And then MJ's like, I don't know, I'm new to this. I just want to shortcut to like having the best life and have the most fun and the most meaningful relationships and just have the most fulfilling life. And MJ, if you saw her in the Shaw's days, she was a little bit of a hot mess, as we all were in our younger days, or as most of us were. And if you were perfectly buttoned up, yay you. But for the rest of us, we can all resonate with the fact that, over time we mature. She's a mom. So it's been really cool to actually be a part of the show because MJ herself has actually transformed a lot. Like I'm saying, for reals, transformed a ton. Her mom she lost her dad, who was her best friend. She's an only child. Her mom has always been really tough to deal with, very difficult. They've butt heads. Her mom has been disparaging. It's kind of really sad. So watching her embrace the insights of some of these spiritual kind of people, whether it's through Reiki or through psychics or through this or that, has been crazy, like hypnotherapists and neuroscientists and stuff like that. So we have had a lot of great guests, and watching her transformation has been super fun. And one time we had Shinka on, who's my friend Renee's cousin, which is crazy. And she's this amazing psychic. I'll have her on my podcast. She was on that show. And what happened was the girls were filming, because we'll batch episodes some days. So they were already filming one episode, and then Shinka walks in, or like walks up to the studio, and I turn around and I see her, and she was there early because she was going to be the next episode that we were going to film. And so I, tiptoe out of the studio as they were filming, and anyway, I like introduce myself to Shinka. I'm like, hi, I'm Kimberly Levy. I'm producing the show. Thank you so much for coming. We're so excited to have you here. And she grabs my hand and she goes, do you mind? And I was like, look down at our hands as she's like, grabbing my hand. And I'm like, no. And so she goes, have you lost a grandmother? I said, yes, both. No, I said, yes. And she goes, on your dad's side or your mom's side? I said, both. And she like pauses and she goes, because she's behind you. She's like, it's your maternal grandmother. And then she like pauses for a couple seconds and she kind of like looks behind me, like past me. And she goes, your mom is here. Did you lose your mom recently? And I was like, yeah, like 3 months ago at the time. And she's like, and she like looks at me dead in the face and she goes, I just want to tell you, I'm not here for the podcast. I'm here for you and your mom. Your mom brought me here. And I was just like, what? And to be honest, I wasn't actually all that shocked because Liat was like, can you come on the show with us? Because sometimes the girls will have me on the show, like on camera, because I don't like to get dressed up and put on the face and do the glam and do the whole thing. So I like, I'll usually chime in with like my own mic behind the scenes if they want me to. But in this case, they wanted me on camera because Liat was like, your mom's probably going to show up. And I was like, down for it, you know? So anyway, so that was crazy. We also had Jamie Kennedy on, who is a comedian. He was awesome. We had Dar Man on. Oh, this was what I wanted to tell you. We had Dar Man and his wife Laura on this week. And I don't know. Okay, if you don't know who he is, so first of all, he has over 60 billion, yes, with a B, YouTube views. And he has a great story about his success and his path to success, and then the way him and Laura met, and they're Liat's neighbors, Trevor and Liat's neighbors, and they're all really, 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 really successful, like really successful. Okay, I'm not going to even talk about all their goodies and all their fancy things because they have it all, right? But it was such a good episode. I knew of him because he's the guy, if you guys watch, again, back to Shaws of Sunset, this is so weird. He was dating Lily Galici, who was on that show for a short time. They called her Persian Barbie. And then she launched her own eyelash line, like fake eyelash line, Lily Lashes. And she kind of disappeared from television and like became this like amazing entrepreneur. But before she got married to her current husband, she was engaged to Dar Man. And then I didn't know, like, I don't know, there was some things like, is he shady? Is he this? Is he that? I didn't know what his status was at all. So then when it was Liat's neighbor, I was like, oh my God, I'm so like curious, about him. And anyway, he comes on. He was lovely, such good energy, so well spoken, so honest. And that was just a spectacular episode, I have to tell you. Like, for reals, really great storytelling, inspiration, laughs, a lot of love and romance and cuteness with him and Laura. Great episode. So, those are my top podcasts for the week. And yeah, so go check them out and let me know which ones you like and what you want more of and all that kind of stuff. Okay, let me know. Okay, switching gears, back to me, my favorite subject. Just kidding. That's disgusting. Okay. For those of you that want to know, well, you know what? I'm going to just touch on this quickly about my mom. How am I doing with my mom? Without my mom, I should say. It's up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. If you have not lost a parent, I will tell you this. I remember before my mom passed being like, it's so interesting how people that lose their parents, even like really much like my father-in-law, like anybody that's ever lost a parent, no matter what their age is, you'll hear them talk about like, oh, my mother used to say this, or they talk about their parents a lot. A lot of people that have lost their parents, and I used to be like, why do people do that? Even Jackie Schimmel from the Bitch Bible, she'll be like talking about losing her mom, or who else? I don't know. And I remember being like, okay, yeah, we get it. Like, you lost your mom, like, but I'll tell you, let me explain the behind the scenes. Like, I'm not going to like go super deep into this right now because I'm not trying to make everyone sad, but I'm just going to tell it to you straight. If you have a strong relationship with your parents, and I'm footnoting this because I've also learned in all of this that a lot of people don't. But if you're like me and you are very close with your parents, this especially will resonate with you. And it's a double-edged sword, so I'm sorry to break it down like this. But if you are really close with your parents, the thought of losing a parent is so unbelievably like so far-fetched and like just unbelievable that you were like, oh my God, that would be horrific. I can't even imagine. That's probably what you would think. And you literally cannot even imagine. You literally don't have the words to even imagine it or the brain power. Yeah. So you take that idea, and what it's like losing a parent is 100 million times worse than what you could ever imagine. Yeah, I am not even exaggerating right now. That is literally the level of how fucking horrible it is. It's just, I don't even have words. So the short answer is day to day, I'm generally pretty good. But here's the thing, every single part of my day reminds me of my mom. Every freaking thing I do, I would always go from, for example, from tennis to then go film a podcast. I would call her in between and be like, oh, this is how tennis went. This is who I saw, debrief. And then I'd go on to the next activity and then I'd call her again. And I'd talk to her 27 million times a day. So there's that. So just in that practical sense, it's like just losing your best friend that you talk to a million times a day. But it's even like every single thing I do, like the way I think, the jokes that come to my mind, things that her and I would say together all of the time, jokes about our kids, you know, um, grocery shopping makes me miss my mom. Freaking grocery shopping is a trigger because I look at the organic Persian cucumbers and I think of her. I look at the tomatoes and I hear her telling me, make sure you get the ripe ones, get the red ones, the tomatoes on the vine. Like, it's just like it's incessant in every piece of my day that she is literally with me the entire time throughout the whole day, like the whole day. And it's just wild because every day you have to be like, okay, yeah, she's not here. Like, yeah, that's right. I have a dead mom. That's great. And you just have to like, it's almost like being kicked in the face 100 times a day, and you like have to constantly regroup, and not fall apart every single time it happens because it literally happens all day long, like all day long, right? So that's that. But this morning, I had like almost like I don't feel like I've had a lot of moments where okay, I'm really good at crying about it, but I haven't gotten to the point where I'm like in a full depression. And I think it's because she helped me grieve so much. But like this morning, I was so out of sorts. I don't know what hit me. It felt like it felt like I fell into this like scary depression place. Now, keep in mind, your girl's, a fighter. I fucking fought to get myself to tennis. Thank God Liat was like, I'm going, you're going, we're going. I fought with every ounce of oomph in my whole body to push myself to get out of there because I literally could have stayed in bed the entire day in a deep, deep state of like feeling out of control, anxiety, and depression. And it was just a wild experience. And what I will tell you is, speaking of Liat and the spirituality and all of that has actually really helped me because it's made me feel close to my mom, even though she's not here. But anyway, yeah, it's actually horrible. And we haven't gone through any of her stuff. Like, I literally can't. I go to their house and it like is just like being punched in the gut, like repeatedly. Like, I see her shoes, I see her water bottle, I see some of her medication. I mean, we've pretty much threw out all of her like, you know, crazy medication that we were dealing with towards the end because there was like, 100 items. But like, I cannot. And then there's the part about my dad where, he's by himself. So there's all of that. So we're fighting. We're fighting. But I got to say, overall, we're doing great. We are. But look, we have a ton of ups and downs. And if you have lost someone close to you, especially a parent, because I feel like there's about 10 people I know that have lost a parent within the last 6 months, I think it's our age. And so if that's you, I'm just letting you know. I see you, I hear you, I feel you. Okay, enough of that depressingness. Let's talk about my studio. Okay, I want to tell something to you guys. You know, when you hear about fabulous people doing fabulous things, like, oh, I sold my company for $100 million, or oh, I used my last $200 to my name to launch my business and now I'm a billionaire. Like all those stories, you know how they sound like these like heroic war stories and like, oh my God, they're so sexy and like all that stuff. Yeah, let me tell you, when you're actually in it and you are actually building a company stone by stone, the way I have been for however long it's been now, it's really freaking hard and it's really freaking scary and it's really freaking exhilarating. So, Yeah, I'm only saying that because I think like I don't want to like walk around and be like, "Oh, I have this studio I'm building," and make it seem like it's easy. Like, no, bitch, it ain't easy. Okay? I'm just letting you know it comes with a major cost, which includes all of your Fridays, all of your Saturdays, and all of your Sundays. Pretty much any free time you have, including your 4 a.m. sleeping. It literally requires your entire soul to make some of these things happen, and so there's a cost to it. And I just like don't want to gloss over that because I don't hear a lot of people talking about that. It's like hard fucking work and it's like not sexy and it's stressful and it's like there's a reason why most people don't end up having thriving businesses. It's cuz it's way easier to just go out and get a job, honestly. But in my case, I'm a lunatic. I'm love sick over my business and I have already done all the things with all the other jobs and I will never go back to that. And I am just madly obsessed with my business. And I'm going to share a little bit about it. So, I mean, not like super nitty, like not too insular, because like I don't want to bore you, but like I'm creating a business for people that want to create content and get their voice out or their creativity out or share something fun with the world or just try something different, you know? That's like I want to help people that have something to say. They want to pivot, they want to share their hobby, they want to share their business, their mindset, their skill set, whatever it is. And I just love it. I'm obsessed with it. And the looks on your faces when I launch your podcast is like literally makes me feel like it's your wedding day. It makes me that happy because what happens is so many people are dreaming of it and they don't have the courage and the guts to like put their money into it because it requires money. Like I'm saying, business, having successful anything in this world, 9 times out of 10, you need to put money into it. You need to take a risk. And so these are the people that they're like, okay, I trust you, Kimberly, and they pay me to launch their show. And it is exhilarating for them because they're putting in the hard work every day with me. Keep in mind, we keep your runway pretty short when we can, unless you're like dragging it out, like if you don't have the time to commit to it that much. But for the most part, we like to launch your shows within 30 days. Now, everyone has their own logistical circumstances where sometimes it just gets pushed back, and that's what it is. But anyway, watching people create the way that they love and getting to see them hosting their own shows or just creating the content or at their photo shoots and just getting the recognition from people that listen to their shows and like seeing their face light up when they realize that they are a podcaster. Like it's so cool. So I'm telling you that because my studio was a really big deal. I dreamt of this for over a year. And I was subleasing a studio. I've built custom studios. Not I. It's when I say anything in my business, just so you know, when I say I mean we, my team. Okay. But anyway, I looked at, I don't know how many spaces since probably October, November. I don't know. For, at least I think November, I was starting to look at spaces after my mom passed away and I was looking at office spaces. Anyway, I must have looked at least 50 spaces. But here's the thing. What I was doing was I was looking at office spaces because that's what you think when you think of like, oh, I need my office. But I was like, I need my studio. Anyway, I end up realizing that I don't need an office with my employees to sit there. Like my employees or people that work for me, they either work from home or they're on set with me. They're, you know, it's a creative industry. So this is not like desk jockey type stuff, right? And if there is desk work for like social media or whatever, they're either on site and then they capture stuff and then they go home and they work. Like you get the idea. I don't need an office per se. So anyway, I realized what I need is a place for people to create dope content. So, what does that even mean? It means a photography area, it means having a top photographer on hand. It means, yes, a podcast studio that we can customize to each person's show with different sets and designs. It means a grooming and reception, like hangout area. It means snacks, you know, like a green room type spot. And yes, like a little office for me, just because if I'm there and I want to get some work done, that's fine. If I'm not like filming or on set or whatever. So, anyway, that's exactly what I found. I found a light industrial kind of hybrid space, which is essentially like an office. Like a third of it is like an office type space, and then the rest of it is a warehouse. And it's 16-foot ceilings. And so, anyway, what we've been doing, so it's dilapidated, to be very clear. This is a dilapidated space. This is not a beautiful turnkey, oh my God, I'm ready to rock and roll. No, girl, no. That is not what this is. So, like, let me be very clear. This is it's janky. Okay. I bought a janky office. And so I got it because it's perfect. It checks every box that I needed. So all that to say, before we can actually go in there and start working in there, I have to do construction. So for example, the warehouse portion had like floors that had like glue on it. So we had to remove the glue, sand the floors, stain the floors, buff them, seal them, all this shit. I might even do something with soundproofing of the floors. It's a whole thing, insulation, blah, blah, blah. There's wires. I need an electrician in there. I want to raise the ceiling in there. There's all kinds of stuff. There's this like disgusting kitchenette. It's truly gross. Okay. I'm not kidding. It has this ugly carpet. There was holes. Like, I mean, I am not kidding. My studio has been through it. You could see that poor sweet space has not been loved. But anyway, so yes, I've been trying to figure out who's going to work with me, bringing in designers, bringing in general contractors and electricians and all these people. And again, this all sounds so sexy. It's not. You're probably like getting a facial when I'm doing that, like maybe you're out to drinks with friends, because I'm not. I can assure you I'm not. I'm reviewing floor samples and paint colors and all the things. But you know what is so great? I have to give a big shout out to my girl, McCall. So McCall, first of all, is the one that brought Jennifer to me, Jennifer Sattel, and the JK show. So shout out to you, McCall. And she is in the middle of building something for herself, which I'm not going to share. But she's helped me a lot, from just because her and her husband are in like real estate too. So shout out, McCall. I love you. I'm not going to share anything else about you until it's time. And then I'm going to drag you onto my show, and I'm going to brag all about you because I love you. Okay. Did I tell you that Carter has a girlfriend? Because I'm struggling right now. I am not a happy mom. My son, my sweet, sweet little man, Carter, who just turned 9 years old, has a girlfriend, and I cannot take it. Like the pain, as if I am not in enough like mental and emotional pain right now. Yes, he's in third grade, you guys. Third grade. And I asked him, did I tell you guys this? I'm just going to tell you in case I didn't, because I just cannot believe this kid. He comes home and he's like, Mommy, I have a crush on someone. We have a crush on each other, me and so-and-so. I'm not going to say her name. I'm like, what does that even mean to you? What does a crush even mean? You know what this boy says to me? Oh, a crush is when two people like each other's company, respect each other, make each other laugh, and when you look at them, you both blush. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's pretty, like, you kind of nailed that. So what am I going to say to this kid? So I'm really struggling because on one hand, he comes home and he tells me exactly what's happening. Like, we held hands, or I asked her to be my girlfriend. Keep in mind, I'm dying throughout all of this. I want to be like, absolutely, hell to the no. You are not allowed to have a girlfriend. Are you out of your mind? And remember, you're my boyfriend until you're 95 years old. Like I've been telling you since the day we were born. Like, what are you talking about? I want to go ape shit on him. I really do. And I want to shut it down and be like, absolutely not, and do that whole thing. But here's my thing, and help me out. By the way, this is a cry for help at this point. The earlier parts were not. This part is. And I actually got some good advice from a local dad, which I can share with you shortly. But anyway, back to the matter at hand. So as much as I want to shut it down and do the like, that is not age appropriate, you're not allowed to be having a girlfriend and that whole thing, the other part of me is like, well, I can say that, but is it going to change how he feels about this girl? The short answer is no. He sees her every day at school and he feels how he feels. If they like each other, they like each other. Nobody can take that from him or from the girl. Like they make each other blush, as he said. So instead of shutting it all down, which is really what I want to do, like it takes every bone in my body not to, and be like, I'm like, all that's really going to do is make him not tell me anything. So it's better that I just go along with it and just keep it at bay to the best of my ability. Like, I don't encourage it, right? I'm not like, let's go do a play date. How's so-and-so? I don't ask about that, but he will be like, oh, she drew me a picture with hearts, and he'll like get all excited. And then I said to him, because then I'm thinking, well, maybe it's his school. Maybe his school, like the kids are too advanced there, because I'm protective. And it's like, if that's the case, like I'll move schools. Like if he's not being influenced well, then we'll move schools, because I want him to be around kids that are like, the right kinds of kids. And so I said to him, why do you want a girlfriend? Like, do your friends at school have girlfriends? And he was like, no, nobody has a girlfriend. And I was like, so what gave you this idea, or why do you want a girlfriend? And you know what he said? Listen to this kid. Listen to my boy. He says, because I want to show other guys not to be afraid to ask a girl out, and to show them how to treat girls with respect. Are you kidding me? And he's genuine. That's the part about this kid. He's genuine. This is literally from this child's heart. I mean, I can't. I just love him so much. What am I going to say to him? No, I can't do it. I mean, I want to do it. Yes, ma'am, I do. But one thing I did talk to another dad about, a dad, and he said, oh no, my friend that had this issue, he shut it down. He just did not allow any play dates. He basically just kept his son super busy. Like, no, absolutely not. You do not get to schedule dates. You do not get to go to the movies. You do not get to go ice skating. You don't get to do any of these things with your, and then he said in not encouraging it outside of school, it kind of helped it fizzle out. And so Carter's kind of in between sports right now. He's still doing ice hockey, but football, he's in between football. He's doing a little bit of football, but not like the main league yet. So I'm hoping when he's more busy, that's going to help, ? Anyway. And that's really how we're doing. So coming up, I'm going on spring break with my kids, because of course, like the good mother I am, I freaked out a week ago realizing, oh my God, by Friday, my kids are on spring break. I cannot believe it. And I have nothing planned. So I panic booked a trip, which we will be taking you guys on, of course, because I love sharing my trips. I know you love going on my trips with me. You love seeing the trips, and you love hearing about how they went down and my recommendations all about it. So I am really excited, because we're going somewhere I've been wanting to go for a couple years. We're just going to Phoenix, and we're going to this property, a JW Marriott, that is like nice enough for me, and yet has these massive water slides. So if you've been there, let me know. But we are taking baby London, who is 3. She also is 3, and she can't swim. So I'm going to be very much on guard with that. And Carter and Charlotte are pretty much going to live it up. So I will let you know how it goes. All right. So thank you for catching up with me. Thank you so much for listening. I love you. And tell me if you like these segments with like the podcast, like my favorite podcasts, or like the behind the scenes of some of them. And just kind of like, let me know. Okay. And if you have not already, especially if you've been listening for a long time, can you please go leave a comment on Apple Podcasts and give us 5 stars? Please. That would be awesome. And if you like my show, can you let me know? Can you tag me? Can you share the show with a friend? Like, don't be a closet listener. Don't be afraid. I'm a friendly gal. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's it. All right. I love you. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right, that is it for today. Thank you very much for listening, and be sure to follow us at Iconic Nation Media and send us a direct message and comment on some of our posts so that we can hear your feedback and incorporate them into our show. We appreciate you listening, and we look forward to catching you next week.